Hey everyone, welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome and thanks for tuning in. In today's tutorial, we are going to paint this dramatic eagle in watercolors. This exercise focuses mainly on contrast and controlled dark values, which helps create depth and intensity in wildlife paintings. If you enjoy watercolor tutorials like this, consider subscribing to the channel. I share new watercolor lessons every week. I have already pre-sketched this eagle to place major shapes of the eagle's head and beak. While painting animals in watercolor, it's helpful to keep drawing very simple and focus mainly on the overall proportion. I am begin by building the background wash first. Instead of using many different colors, I focus on strong dark tones or the undervalue and then soft blends to create a small sphere and contrast behind the eagle. So for this particular eagle, the idea is not to paint every feather or every single feather. I have simplified the whole sketch to make it expressive and dramatic. Now apart from browns, I also wanted to use one portion of the eagle, right? One side of the eagle, very dramatic. That's why I've started using reds and yellows, and if you see, I'm working completely wet on wet. I'm not trying to control the wash. I'm only trying to put those values in there and trying to complete the background wash in a very soft blending method. What is a soft blending? Where you are not touching your colors again and again and you let colors and waters do the job. While painting the feathers, we are not gonna paint every single detail, so for that matter I have very simplified the entire sketch of the eagle in planes, right, in triangular paints, and instead of focusing on painting group of feathers and shapes, letting the darker value define the whole structure. Okay, so now after the background wash, now I'm just putting some darker values around, so I know that how it is coming out, and then we can take a judgment on what we have to do in terms of left side of the artwork. Okay. So watercolor tends to dry a little lighter, so make sure that you are redefining your values. And I have again put lot of water on the paper, so that again I'm working wet on wet to keep it soft and focused. It is very important that we are working wet on wet for this particular subject. To make a eagle look very dramatic, I wanted to paint the left side completely darker values, and hence I am using my paints gray. But this is a granulating pigment. The color that I am using are granulating colors for this one. These are from White Knight's granulation set, so they are not my regular colors, but these are granulating pigments basically from White Knights. Okay, I have put the details in the description below, so you can refer to them. And because we have used red on the right side of the eagle, I wanted to bring in some of those colors on the left side as well, and hence you see that blob of red that is like screaming through, right? What next I'm doing is sprinkling the water. It gives a beautiful bloom effect. When done right, it looks very beautiful. Okay, now for the beak, this is like one of the strongest, brightest areas in this particular painting. I'm keeping strong light areas next to darker background. It helps create a powerful focal point and make the subject stand out. Okay, and if you are noticing, I am painting the beak, half portion of the beak blue, and the remaining I'm gonna be painting in yellow, which is like a contrasting color. So these are like contrasting colors, so complementary colors opposite in the color wheel are complementary colors. If you know about color wheel, then highly recommend you to watch this particular tutorial. It explains everything about the color wheel, the complementary colors, etc. The eye is always the emotional center of an animal painting. So here I increase the contrast around the eye to help it stand out and bring life to the eagle. So we start with a light color, as you already know by now if you're painting along with me from a long time, or if you're just here, then you should know that for watercolors, painting goes from light to dark, unlike acrylics and oil where we do dark to light, right? So we are painting the light values first and then dark. Now in everything that we are doing, blending and softening watercolors is also an important aspect, and if you don't know anything about this, then please refer to this tutorial which explains watercolor techniques in detail, so that you can come back here later and finish this one out. In the final stage of the painting, I'm adding a few darker values to strengthen the contrast and bring more definition to the feathers. As I said, watercolors tends to dry like 2-3 shades lighter, right? So you see the darker value, the black that we have put on underneath has gone like become too light. So now what I'm doing is I'm strengthening that shadow area. I'm just defining those feathers now. Okay, and once you're done, I think that will finish our eagle painting. If you enjoy painting this with me, let me know in the comments. I always enjoy seeing what you guys create. If you are learning watercolors and want more structure guidance, I have a full beginner watercolor course where I teach fundamentals like light, values, layering step by step. You can find the link in the description below. And if you would like to keep practicing, you might also enjoy some of my other watercolor tutorials on this channel, including florals, fruits and wildlife paintings. Thank you for watching and happy painting!